Let me ask you something. How do you think you attract a girl? Do you do that through texting her for all of your free time? Probably not, right? Maybe you send her like a letter. Okay, maybe. How about just coming up to her and talking in real life? So then you can actually see if you are compatible. So then you can see if you actually like her or is like just your imagination, and to see if she also likes you. Okay, so why do we have such a big problems nowadays? What's the modern dating advice you hear? You see all these videos of pickup artists, of guys teaching you the best pickup lines that then you can use on Tinder on in real life. Why all of the dating scene is like just so messed up and so like unauthentic? Why do we hear all of this advice that we should be just texting girls to see if we like them, to see if we have like same interests? Why the dating advice isn't that we should just come up to girls and talk to them, but not in this weird like way that you cold approach them. You go into a mall and or to your town center to then talk to them. No, why dating advice isn't that you have a friend in class, just talk to her. You go on like a trip with a group of friends, talk to girls there. If there is this girl that you like, why don't you just talk to her in real life? Like, I don't know, because maybe you think that you have nothing interesting to talk about. First of all, like, just shut this voice down, and stop listening to it completely, because like it doesn't serve you at all to actually have these beliefs about yourself. That no, like my life isn't that interesting. I don't get to have many like adventures and stories to tell, unless your life is actually so shit and you genuinely have nothing to talk about. But you found this channel, you probably do some self-improvement, so I guess you are like way better than the average, right? Then why do we have this problem? Why are we so afraid to just to talk in real life? It will sound like a bit gay, but do you even like yourself? Because maybe that's the problem. Maybe you don't really feel comfortable talking about stuff you want to talk about, because if you actually analyze your thoughts during like when you are in a group of friends, your brain comes up with things that you can tell, but you just shut them down, you ignore them because you're like, no, that's not so interesting, or like, yeah, people won't listen to me or something. So maybe that's the problem, because I learned that me is me, I like myself, and I just learned how to be happy being by myself. I learned how to be happy day to day, just living life. And you know that then it's much easier, because like when your brain gives you this idea of what you can talk about, you're like, yeah, and recently I went like for a mountain trips with my family. And like when you think about it, it doesn't sound interesting. You know, you would probably say that it sounds boring that you are in mountains with your family. But if you like yourself, if you like the life you're living, suddenly you can talk about it in this interesting way. You can show your authentic emotions, and immediately you're like, it's much better to listen to someone. Like that's the thing. You can immediately tell if someone is telling a story or something like about any given topic from their heart. Because if they're really passionate about something, and if they really just like this topic, then they can just talk about it for hours, right? Okay, so why don't you do that with girls? Why don't you do that in a group of friends? It's this like there is so much overthinking nowadays that sometimes you just need to allow yourself to talk about whatever comes to your mind. Because like even if sometimes you say something stupid, right? Because if you just say what's on your mind, you don't have time to process everything, right? You can do some things to improve like your mental clarity, like meditation or like having clean diet, exercising, all of this good stuff. But yeah, sometimes you will mess up. So get into that like uncomfortable zone. Get a bit anxious. Why not? Like learn how to get through that. Because all of this advice that you should text girls and you should learn the best pickup lines to then use or on Tinder or some other dating apps, it's just so unauthentic because like we take this advice so happily because it's just so comfortable and so easy, right? If you text someone, you can say basically whatever you want because like you can text someone I love you and it doesn't feel the same as saying it out loud, right? So that's the same thing with like having just a normal conversations through text messages. It just doesn't feel the same how it would feel in real life. But we still lean into that side because it's just so comfortable, right? I want you to do something interesting. Think about your grandparent. How do you think he attracted your grandma? Did he do that through texting? No, because they didn't have like phones and computers at that time. Okay. Maybe he sent her like a love letter. That has a lot of like power and balls to do that, right? But what would he do actually? Like imagine that. Imagine your grandpa in school, and in his class there is this girl, his future wife, that he really likes. What would he do? He would probably approach her and be like, "Hey Mary, do you want to go for a walk with me after school today?" This is it. But nowadays we need to overcomplicate everything and be like, if she texts you this, then you need to wait 10 minutes and then reply with this. But if your message was this long and she replies with like three times longer message, then like actually think about your grandparents. Because most often, I think that's how we say it, because most often than not, the way of things, how they used to do something, is still better nowadays, even though we have phones, even though we have computers, social media, everything. You will still realize that the better way to do these things is just how people used to do that for for basically all of our history. But just nowadays in modern times, because we have all of these devices and all of these other options, we will choose them instead of being like, instead of doing things in this traditional normal way. Now when I think about it, it's like it's so obvious. Your grandpa would just approach this girl, spit some game, spit some high testosterone game, be like, "Hey Mary, I think you're really pretty. Do you want to go for a walk with me today?" Okay, mine. I mean that takes some balls to do that. It's a bit brutal, but I think that also part of these problems of the ways is because of the way guys live nowadays. Like our testosterone levels are like, what are they? 4 times lower than like 3 or 4 generations ago. Our male drive, our testosterone, our this male energy is all time low. We don't feel confident. We are built like shit. We eat some processed food. We don't even exercise that hard. Like your grandpa would be all day just outside running with his friends, playing They would be just play fighting, having like these little wars or battles. I have so many great memories with my great grandpa. And I mean, just nowadays we're all just pussies, right? Your grandpa, okay, let's say that in that school situation, he approached that girl, speaks some game, talked to her, went for a walk, and then she rejected him. Do you think he would be like depressed for 3 or 4 months? Do you think he would be overly sad and depressed because of it? No, he would be like, oh, okay, no problem. Like, he would probably still like her, but he wouldn't obsess over her. He wouldn't. We just so overcomplicate everything nowadays that it's. Honestly, all you need is have this high male drive, have this positive aura around you. Walk around with this good, happy, smiley, positive energy. Approach people, talk in a group of friends, talk to strangers. strangers. And I mean, nowadays we just make this huge deal out of it, out of everything, right? We learn all of these strategies. We learn the best tactics to get a girl or to talk. I just want you to lean into that more of the natural side. Lean into that side of again having this positive natural energy, having this good male drive, having this nice charisma, nice aura that you carry around with you wherever you go, and just learn to live like humans were always supposed to live. Learn how to get these things back instead of learning another tactics and like, okay, I I won't get again into this mood of like what you hear on the internet in case of advice on texting, right? Texting won't get you this girl. Do it like your grandfather would. I think if we just simplify, most of our problems they can just go away just like this. Because once you realize that nowadays we have everything so overcomplicated and we can still do that the way our grandparents used to do that, you just get rid of the problem. And again, it's not easy. I know it's uncomfortable to like be one-on-one with a girl, try to show her your attractive side. Of course, it's all stressing, it's all making you anxious, but that's life as a man. You were not born to live like this peacefully, this easy life. So this is it. Cut down this texting to to the absolute limits. If there is a girl you like, maybe text her, okay, meet me at this time, then maybe let's go after school something. And then let's call it get into wild. Just get into action, do it in real life, just like your grandfather would. And this is it. Honestly, I think that was some great advice. So if you want to learn more tips, more advice on how to live this life of high male drive, and basically like it all comes down to living like we always used to live, and just ignoring and just quitting all of these modern things, then just subscribe to this channel, because I'm still on my way to increasing my male drive. And yeah, I will just be the perfect leader for you on this way. So again, subscribe. And that's it for today. I will see you next time.